Stop screaming your desires into the void. The silence echoing back is not a delay. It is a warning. You have followed the rules. You scripted, you visualized, you acted as if. And the result? Either absolute silence or the universe hands you a distorted version of what you asked for. A relationship that feels like a cage. Success that tastes like ash. This is not a failure of technique. This is a structural error in your reality. Imagine standing in an infinite hall of mirrors. You are frantically trying to change your life by scrubbing the glass, polishing the surface, begging the reflection to change. You are exhausted because you are trying to manipulate a reflection while ignoring the entity casting the shadow. The modern manifestation industry is selling you polish for the bars of your own cell. They teach you to beg the Demiurgic Matrix for scraps. But the ancient Gnostic Codes, the lost teachings of Jesus, reveal a completely different technology. He did not teach us to manipulate the mirror. He taught us to become the light that commands the reflection. Today, we dismantle the old machinery. We are moving past the law of attraction and stepping into the law of resonance. Stop asking. Start remembering. Let's look at the blueprints of your life. At any given moment, an architect is holding the pen. But the terrifying question is, who is it? In the secret traditions, we understand that there are two distinct architects operating within your psyche. The first is the one you know intimately. It is the loud, anxious voice that wakes you up at 3 a.m. This is the ego. But understand this, the ego is not evil. It is simply a survival program. It is a biological interface suit designed to navigate the Demiurgic Matrix. Think of the ego like a man stranded in the ocean, drinking salt water to quench his thirst. The more he drinks, the thirstier he becomes. The ego operates on a code of fundamental lack. Its logic is linear and brutal. I am incomplete. I am unsafe. Therefore, I need to manipulate the external world to get safety. Here is where you need to forgive yourself. If you feel spiritually exhausted right now, it is not because you are weak. It is not because you didn't believe enough. It is because you have been trying to hydrate your soul with material water. You cannot quench an eternal thirst with temporary things. When you manifest from this frequency, you are telling the universe, I do not have. And because the universe is a giant mirror, it reflects that vibration of not having right back at you. You might get the car, or the house, or the partner, but because the root was lack, the fruit will always be fear of losing it. But there is another architect. Hidden beneath the noise of survival is the monad. This is the term the ancient Gnostics used for the divine spark, the fragment of the eternal that exists before and beyond this simulation. The difference is absolute. The ego manifests to get. The monad manifests to express. The ego says, I need $1 million so I can finally feel free. The monad vibrates the frequency of freedom first, and the resources naturally coalesce around that frequency to support the mission. This is mental alchemy in its purest form. Jesus did not perform miracles by begging a distant God for favors. He operated from the monad. When he multiplied the loaves and fishes, he wasn't worried about starvation. He was resting in the absolute knowing of abundance. He commanded reality not by force, but by alignment. Most modern teachings are trying to teach your ego how to do the monad's job. They teach you to fake it till you make it. But you cannot fool the ether. You cannot lie to energy. You, the awakened one, must learn to put down the pen of the ego and hand it back to the monad. To understand the monad, you must understand the nature of the mirror. In a mirror, everything is reversed. your right hand becomes your left. The Demiurgic Matrix operates on this same principle of inversion. It tricks you into believing that cause and effect are external, that you must work hard out there to feel good in here. This is the great deception. This is the inverted logic that keeps the chosen ones running on a hamster wheel of exhaustion. The monad operates on the law of inversion. It dictates that the internal state is the only true cause, and the external world is merely the obedient shadow. When you try to manifest from the ego, you are screaming at the shadow, demanding it to move. When you manifest from the monad, you simply move, and the shadow has no choice but to follow. You are not here to learn how to become a creator. You are here to remember that you are the true self that has been dreaming it is small. Enough theory. We are going to break the seal right now. This is not a meditation. This is an energetic override. Wherever you are, stop scrolling. Stop multitasking. Give me your full focus for 60 seconds. Place your hand over the center of your chest. This is not just a physical location. Ancient traditions identify this as the seat of the spiritual heart, the anchor point of the monadic frequency in the physical vessel. Close your eyes. The ego lives in the head. It chatters. It plans. It worries about tomorrow. But the monad lives here, under your hand. Take a deep breath, but do not breathe to relax. Breathe to expand. As you inhale, silently say the words, I am. Not, I am wealthy. Not, I am loved. Just, I am. Feel the vertical column of power that runs through your spine. When you say, I am, you are announcing your presence to the simulation. You are establishing your coordinate. Now, as you exhale, push out the sensation of needing. Visualize the want, leaving your body like gray smoke. Do this one more time. Inhale, I am. Feel the completeness of that statement. Exhale the attachment to the outcome. Open your eyes. That stillness you feel, that is the 0 point. That is the monad. From this place, you do not attract what you want. You radiate what you are, and reality reorganizes itself to match your signature. The transition from the separated self to the unified monad is not a physical journey. It is a shift in optics. It is cleaning the lens through which you project reality. This requires 3 fundamental shifts in your operating system. If you miss the third one, the first 2 will not work. The first shift, from wound to mission. Most people manifest to bandage a psychological cut. They want the specific person because they feel unlovable. They want the title because they feel small. The ego uses manifestation as a painkiller. But the universe is a strict teacher. It rarely grants power to the wounded, because a wounded creator creates a wounded world. Before you set an intention, you must interrogate it. Ask yourself, if I was already completely whole, if I felt absolutely safe right now, would I still want this? If the answer is no, throw that desire away. It is a trap of the Demiurgic Matrix. But if the answer is yes, if you want it simply to play, to experience, or to serve, then that desire is clean. It is coming from the monad. The resistance dissolves because you are no longer trying to get something to fix yourself. You are trying to give expression to the divine. The second shift, from force to flow. We have been conditioned by the slave mentality of the material world. We are taught that value comes from struggle, that if you are not exhausted, you are not working. The ego creates through friction. It pushes doors open. The monad creates through the law of resonance. Think of a radio tuner. You do not force the music to play. You simply align the internal dial to the specific frequency, and the music becomes audible. The signal was always there. You just had to stop static jamming your own reception with doubt. When you operate from the monad, you enter a state of active waiting. You are not lazy, you are alert. And suddenly, the synchronicities begin. A book falls off a shelf. An email arrives. These are the breadcrumbs of the monad. Follow them. The third shift, and this is the most critical, from waiting to remembering. The ego is addicted to time. It lives in the not yet. It says, I will be happy when this happens. The monad knows no time. It knows only the eternal now. In the Gnostic traditions, true knowledge is called anamnesis, literally unforgetting. You do not manifest a new reality. You remember a reality that already exists in the quantum field. Stop waiting for your desire to come to you from the future. It is not coming. It is already here, vibrating at a frequency you have not yet tuned into. The moment you switch from waiting for it to remembering it is done, you collapse the timeline. You stop chasing. You start inhabiting. And that is when the physical world has no choice but to catch up. There is a phase in this process that no one warns you about. It is the reason 99% of people turn back right moments before their breakthrough. We call this the turbulence. When you finally unplug from the ego and anchor into the monad, you expect instant peace. Often, you get the exact opposite. Your car breaks down. An ex-lover texts you out of the blue. You lose a stream of income. The silence in your mind is shattered by sudden, aggressive doubt. Do not panic. This is not a sign that you are doing it wrong. It is the ultimate proof that you are doing it right. In physics, when a jet is about to break the sound barrier, there is violent shaking right before the boom. You are breaking the sound barrier of your old reality. The Demiurgic Matrix is a homeostatic system that seeks to maintain the status quo. When you raise your frequency, your old reality, which vibrates at a lower density, becomes incompatible with you. It begins to shake. It tries to purge you, or worse, it tries to scare you back into your smallness. The Gnostics knew this. They understood that when a soul begins to ascend, the archons, the forces of limitation, will throw a final tantrum to keep you engaged in the drama. They want a reaction. They need your fear to reattach the cords. This is your test. And the solution is radical. When the chaos hits, you must do the hardest thing imaginable. Do nothing. Do not react. Do not fix. Do not spiral. Stand in the center of the storm as the monad. Observe the chaos like you are watching a movie scene that does not involve you. Tell the universe, I see the old world leaving. I am not moved. If you react to the problem, you validate it. You tell the matrix, this is real, but if you observe it without attachment, you starve it of energy. The turbulence is temporary. It is simply the vacuum created as the old leaves to make room for the new. Hold your line. The storm always breaks for the one who does not flinch. Now, we must confront the most dangerous paradox of all. The reason most chosen ones fail is not because they are weak. It is because they are trying to negotiate a hostage situation with the Demiurgic Matrix. There is a terrifying truth that the law of attraction industry refuses to touch. Getting what your ego wants is often more dangerous than not getting it. When you force a manifestation from the ego through sheer willpower, obsession, and desperate affirmation, you might actually succeed. The Matrix is happy to give you a golden cage, but because that creation was born from the frequency of lack, it carries the DNA of lack within it. The dream job becomes a nightmare of stress. The specific person becomes a source of endless anxiety. The money brings paranoia, not peace. Jesus issued a stark warning. You cannot serve both God and mammon. For centuries, the church taught that mammon simply meant money. But in the Gnostic Codes, mammon represents something far more sinister. Mammon is the entire system of external validation. It is the belief that your worth, your safety, and your joy are located in things outside of you. Mammon is the lie that says, I will be happy when. I will be happy when the money hits the bank. I will be worthy when they text me back. This is the ultimate trap. As long as you are waiting for the external world to change so you can feel good, you are a slave to the illusion. You are feeding the demiurge your power. You are saying, matter is my master and I am its servant. The monad flips this hierarchy instantly. The monad knows that the external world is just a printout of your internal state. It does not look to the mirror for validation. It knows it is the source of the reflection. Here is the sharpest truth you will hear today. You do not actually want the $1 million. You do not actually want the specific person. You want the feeling that you think those things will give you. You want the feeling of freedom. You want the feeling of love. The ego says, get the object to get the feeling. The monad says, generate the feeling to become the object. You have the power to access that frequency of divine sovereignty right now, without a single thing changing in your physical reality. And the moment you do that, the moment you stop needing the world to save you, is the moment the world starts rushing to serve you. This is not just philosophy. This is the mechanism of reality. So the question is not whether the universe can provide. The question is, are you brave enough to drop the addiction to your own suffering? The shift from the sleeping self to the awakened monad is not a destination you reach in the future. It is a frequency you choose in the now. Listen closely. You are about to step away from this video and back into the simulation. The Demiurgic Matrix will try to pull you back immediately. The old thoughts will return. The anxiety of not having will try to knock on your door. This is normal. Do not fight it. Simply recognize it as the old programming running its course. You are no longer the program. You are the programmer. You have the codes. You understand now that you are not a beggar in a hostile universe. You are a fragment of the divine, dreaming in high definition. Let us seal this understanding with a final activation. Wherever you are, take one last deep breath. Visualize a golden spark in the center of your chest, the seat of your true self. As you exhale, imagine that spark expanding, consuming your body, consuming the room, consuming your entire reality. Repeat this mantra either aloud or in the silence of your mind as a declaration of war against the illusion. I release the need to be saved. I accept the power to create. I am the source. I am the cause. The world is my effect. Carry this knowing with you. When you walk into a room, walk as the monad. When you speak, speak from the authority of your divine sovereignty. If this transmission resonated with the spark within you, then you have found your tribe. This channel is not for the masses who wish to remain asleep. It is a digital sanctuary for the few who are ready to remember. If you are ready to go deeper into the Gnostic Codes and master the art of mental alchemy, leave your mark. To physically anchor this timeline, declare your sovereignty in the comments below. Write the words, I am the cause. Like this video to seal your intention in the ether. Subscribe to enter the inner circle. We are building a new reality, one awakened mind at a time. You carry the spark. Now become the fire.